Hey guys, how's it going? Mouse from Instant Death Mouse here. So I'm gonna talk to you about what just happened to me at Walmart just like 30 minutes ago. Well, I went down there to pick up some water and 5 cases of Deer Park 20-ounce bottles. And I walk in the store and I open carry pretty much everywhere I go. So I walk in there and I go up and get my water. I load it into the cart, and as I start coming back to checkout, I hear over the intercom, manager call 100, and it goes on for like 3 or 4 times. I didn't pay any attention to it. I just went ahead and went to checkout, and walked up to checkout. There was an old guy there at the self-checkout, and he didn't really know how to use it, so I helped him with that, and the guy that sits in the counter monitoring the self-checkouts, he saw that my cart was loaded up with water, and he told me to come over there. He'd go ahead and get it ringed up so I didn't have to take him out. And walked over there. He got him ringed up, and I paid for it. And as I was getting the money out to pay for it, he looked down and noticed I was carrying, and we started talking about it, and he said if they'd let him, he'd carry on the job. And well, I walked out, and as I walked out of the doors, 3 police officers come flying down into the parking lot with their lights on, sirens blaring, and they park right in front of the door. And I guess the manager had called the police or something, and they stopped me. They told me not to move my hands off the cart, and started questioning me. And the first thing they said is, "Why do you have a gun on you?" I said, well, it's my constitutional right, and sometimes I don't feel safe in my own community. And they said, well, why are you carrying it in Walmart? I'm like, again, it's my constitutional right. Walmart does not have a law that says they didn't have any stickers posted on the door. They don't have any rules against carrying a firearm. Walmart adheres to state law as long as Walmart allows you to carry as long as it adheres to state law. And here in North Carolina, you are allowed to open carry. And nobody asked me to leave, so. And they started questioning me. They asked me for my ID. I asked them if they had any suspicion of me committing a crime. And they said, well, you're walking around with a gun on your hip. I'm like, well, if I was a criminal, wouldn't I be trying to hide my gun from you? And we started talking about it, and he's like, you keep wearing that thing, you're going to start scaring people. I'm like, well, it's not me they need to be afraid of. I mean, this isn't going to make me stop carrying, and this is probably going to make me more vigilant to the people around me and carry more often. And he said, well, I want to go in here and have a talk with the manager, and you go ahead and be about your business. I'm like, alright, you have a nice night. And that was the end of it. I've had 4 run-ins with the police while I was carrying. One was at a gas station, and it wasn't anything too big. We just kind of talked about the guns we had and how often we went out and trained with him, and his preferences and my preferences to ammo. And the first encounter I ever had, I was walking around the block, and I live in a fairly rough neighborhood, so as I was walking, I had the gun on my hip, and this silver Corolla rode by really slow, and as he was passing me, he kind of slowed down and was staring really hard and picked up his cell phone, and he took off around the corner. And as I came around the corner, about halfway up the street, he was stopped in the middle of the road. And as I approached him, as I kept walking up the road, I wasn't actually going to stop and talk to him or anything. He sped off, and about 2 minutes later, a sheriff came down, and he stopped, rolled down his window. He didn't even get out of the car. He was like, so I guess you're the one they called about. I'm like, sir? He's like, well, somebody called saying that there was a guy walking around here with a gun. I'm like, yes, sir, that's me. He's like, well, it hasn't been out of your holster? No, sir. You haven't been waving it around while you're walking? No, sir. Alright then. Have a nice day. And that was it. And the only other time was when I got pulled over for an expired registration, and I had the gun there. The officer was really nice and professional about it. He came up, and I had both hands on the steering wheel, and I told him there was a gun in the car. He was kind of taken aback for a sec. He said, "What?" I said, "Sir, there's a gun in the car." He's like, "Alright, where is it? Is it loaded, and is it on safety?" I'm like, "Yes, sir, it's loaded. Yes, sir, it's off safety. It has one in the chamber. It's in the seat beside of me." He's like, "Alright, well, don't move. I'm going to come around to the passenger side and pick it up." I'm like, "Okay." So we went around the passenger side, and he picked it up. I didn't really have a problem with it. You know, officer safety, I understand that. And he took it back to his car, and he wrote up the ticket, and he came back, and he's like, "Alright, this is for your registration. I'm giving you so much time to get it taken care of, and here's your gun back." And when he handed me my gun back, the slide was locked back, it was in the holster, and he handed me the gun in the holster, and I set it in the seat. Then he handed me my magazine and the round that was in the chamber. And he's like, "I don't do this to be any inconvenience to you. I just don't feel comfortable handing someone I don't know a loaded weapon." I'm like, "I completely understand that." He was real professional about it, and I didn't have any problem with it. So, that has been my experience with police officers when I'm open carrying. And so much, it's the people who care around here, not really the police. I was in Walmart about a week or so after the whole shooting in Connecticut, and I was getting snacks and drinks. We were doing something that night, I can't remember what it was, but a guy came up to me and said, "Why are you carrying that? You know, with all these shootings going on, you're going to start scaring people." I'm like, "Yeah, well, what if somebody came in here with an automatic weapon? I'd rather throw lead at them than a 2-liter of Dr. Pepper." So, that's pretty much it. I should have something going on the zombie series coming up. I have a few names thought up. One of them is kind of weird, and the other one's just kind of, I don't know if it even goes with it or not. But I gotta talk to some of my buddies, and hopefully I can get more people viewing my stuff and more subscribers. I have Psychosis as a name, and Ah Real Zombies. You know, kind of like Ah Real Monsters from Nickelodeon. But yeah, should be going pretty good. Trying to get stuff set up for it. So yeah. Thanks for watching, and comment, like, favorite, subscribe, whatever. Please subscribe. I need more people. And that's pretty much it. Here in about a week or so, I should be making a video on the firearms that we're going to use in the series. And, well, some are real firearms, others are airsoft and pellet guns. And we're actually going to have a couple blank guns, so that should be pretty fun. Yeah, just stay tuned. See you later.